Capital is very essential for starting a business, though it is often misunderstood by many, if not most people. But what is capital? Capital is the totality of the things that are required to execute a business proposal. It is the entirety of things without which a business idea cannot be translated into reality. When you want to start a business, all the things you need to bring the business into existence is capital. For instance, money is capital. The contacts you have to start a business are capital. In addition, your experiences and expertise to start a business are also capital. Though money often stands out as one of the most essential resources for starting a business, it is not the only thing that is required to start a business. In other words, money is only an item in the list of the things that are required for starting a business. It is very imperative to note that before you start raising capital for a business, you should identify the type of capital you need. The reason is that the type of capital you need to start a business, to a very great extent, plays a key role in determining how you raise it. Consequently, a way of raising capital to fund a business may not be applicable to raising capital to fund another type of business. There are 5 basic types of capital, and they are as follows. 1. Startup capital. As the name implies, startup capital is required to start a business. Startup capital is required to bring a business into existence. It is exclusively required for the purpose of birthing a business idea, vision, or dream. Startup capital is unarguably the most common and most popular notion of capital. It is unfortunate that startup capital is the only type of capital most people know. This is the most common misconception about capital. I noted earlier that before you start raising capital for a business, you should identify the type of capital you need. I also noted that the reason is that the type of capital you need to start a business, to a very great extent, plays a key role in determining how you raise it. I further noted that a way of raising capital to fund a business may not be applicable to raising capital to fund another type of business. Though the bank may grant requests for loan from people for other types of capital, the bank is usually not willing to offer loans for startup capital. The reason is not far-fetched. The bank usually wants to see what an entrepreneur has achieved in business before it offers loan to the person for financing his or her business. The bank is usually not willing to offer loans for startup capital because it does not want to risk its money by giving it to a person who has not demonstrated his or her expertise in managing a business because he is starting a business, the very purpose startup capital is needed for. When the bank screens an entrepreneur and ascertains what he or she has achieved in business, it can predict what the person can do in the future. This is what inspires the bank to give loan to an entrepreneur. This is also the reason prospective entrepreneurs can hardly get startup capital from the bank. Startup capital is often needed by prospective entrepreneurs, that is, people who are about to become entrepreneurs, and the capital is needed to make their dream, vision, and passion to become entrepreneurs a reality. People who are in need of startup capital are usually fresh graduates and unemployed people who want to start businesses. Another category of people who are usually in need of startup capital are people who want to start businesses after completing an apprenticeship program. In addition, some retirees also need startup capital to start a business. 2. Expansion capital. Expansion capital is required by people who already have a business but want to spread the business to another place or to other places. If you have a business at one location, but you want to set up a branch of the business at another location or at other locations, then you need expansion capital to achieve your objectives. Expansion capital is needed by entrepreneurs. not prospective entrepreneurs. It is noteworthy that expansion capital may be needed for local expansion or international expansion. Local expansion occurs when an organization sets up another branch or other branches of the organization in the same country. On the other hand, international expansion occurs when an organization sets up another branch or other branches of the organization in another country or in other countries. There is a difference between expansion and relocation. When a business organization expands, it acquires an additional location of operation or additional locations of operation, while the previously existing location or locations of operation remain in existence. But when an organization closes its office in a location and moves to another place, it becomes relocation, not expansion. 3. Maintenance capital. Maintenance capital is required to sustain a business that is already in existence because it is used to keep a business going. Consequently, it can also be called sustenance capital. There are basic financial requirements for sustaining the existence and operations of a business. It consists of the daily expenses that are necessary for keeping a business in existence. This includes money for payment of rents, bills, fares, advertisements, remunerations of employees, and so on. Maintenance capital is required to facilitate the survival of a business. Consequently, it is needed by people who have existing businesses. This type of capital is needed by people whose businesses are having very low cash flow or acute financial challenges. Ideally, the cost of maintaining a business should be funded from the money the business generates. Raising maintenance capital to fund the operations of a business becomes an issue when the money generated from the business is insufficient to fund its cost of operation. Maintenance capital becomes necessary when a business is likely to collapse because of lack of funds or because of insufficient funds to meet its operations costs. This type of capital is required to preserve or sustain the life of a business. It is required to prolong the life of a business that is about to die, while the entrepreneur makes necessary changes in the business and how he manages it in order to revive its destiny and extend its lifespan. It is required to rescue a business from death. A business may die if the owner cannot raise the maintenance capital to sustain it. A business may also die if the management cannot raise maintenance capital to preserve it. Maintenance capital is not required to occasion an accelerated growth in a business. Rather, it is needed for the purpose of a rescue mission or operation in a business. It is required to salvage or save a business from collapse. 4. Consolidation capital. As the name implies, consolidation capital is required by an entrepreneur who has a business but wants to strengthen the business. This type of capital is necessary for securing the future of a business. The difference between maintenance capital and consolidation capital is that while the former is needed to sustain, rescue, preserve, or salvage the existence of a business that is about to die, the latter is required to strengthen or give a bright future to a business. Consolidation capital is required to fortify a business and enable it to make better and greater impacts. However, there are two features maintenance capital and consolidation capital have in common. The first feature is that maintenance capital and consolidation capital are needed for businesses that are already in existence. The second feature is that they are needed for the same business. They also share this feature with expansion capital. This is a major difference they have with diversification capital. 5. Diversification capital. Diversification capital is required by an entrepreneur who has a business but wants to set up another business. Diversification is different from expansion. A business expands when it sets up another branch or other branches to manufacture the same products or to render the same services it offers. But it diversifies when it starts dealing with new products or services it is not used to. For instance, an organization with focus in fish farming could start a poultry farm. This is diversification, though the new business is also in agriculture. The same company may also start a new business outside farming. For instance, it may start producing plastic products. It may also start importing or exporting some products. In addition, the company may also start manufacturing cosmetic products. Expansion necessarily involves movement from one location to another, but diversification could take place in the same location an organization conducts her previous business activities. It is also worthy of note that diversification, unlike expansion, may involve setting up a new business in a new location. Diversification usually occurs when an entrepreneur wants to enlarge his coast, increase his or her income, and make more money by increasing his stream of income. As I remarked earlier, you should identify the type of capital you need before you start raising the money to fund a business, because the type of capital you need, to a very large extent, determines how you raise it. A way of raising capital to fund a business may not be applicable to raising capital to fund another type of business. Consequently, when you ascertain the type of capital you need, you will be in a very good position to choose the best and effective ways to raise it for a business. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, you should click the link below to subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you like watching educative and inspirational videos, you should also turn on the notification bell so that you will be informed whenever a new video is published in this YouTube channel. I hope to meet you again in the next video. Thanks for watching.